Okay, this is my second attempt to make this broadcast today. I'm having people pop in with commercials I didn't ask for, and I thank you and appreciate that. This is a little magazine where I get my information from when I start building my log cabin, from tools, and you're going to need specialized tools, uh, everything you can think of, wood treatment, chinking if you're going to chink, uh, just everything. But by the way, they're not a sponsor. I'm not getting paid by anybody to do this. I just want to share one of my ventures with you folks. And I guess I built one log cabin. I'm not an expert. An expert has to do something, get it right at least twice. Let me get a little sip of coffee. Maybe I won't cough so much. Well, we'll start out. Let's base it. There's many different types of log cabins. We think about the old rustic ones where people made their own chinking. Well, of course, when they did that, they had about 8, 9 children to help them do it. But you got the round logs. You can scribe that's a way of measuring the logs. So one log will look like a cookie cutter and fit down over the next one. And you have a lot of options with that. You can put chinking over it. You have layer logs or square logs. You can get those from a lumber mill and have them already cut up, and you can put the four walls up in a weekend. Um, Again, they require a lot of chinking. There's ways to do that. But let's get started. And by the way, there's also kit logs. Maybe my last kit log I put together when I was about 10 years old. That was Lincoln Log Cabins, beautiful sites. But no, the cabin I live in now are round logs, 18 inches at one side, at one end, and 14 at the other. I have a metal roof, a 10 by 12 metal roof that gives me my second storage. The only downfall with a 10 by 12 roof is hard to get people to come out and want to work on it because you're about 20 some feet off the ground. Now, I never actually got up on the roof. I was in my 70s when I started the house, but I did hand up all the OSB for the man to put it on. Now, another advantage with a roof like that is a good place to mount your solar panels. It collects the energy much quicker. Solar is another thing we can talk about later. Also, being so high off the ground, it prevents people from trying to steal them. And you can do solar for a fraction on the dollar. They don't call me a poor man's millionaire for nothing. But let's get back into log cabins. You're going to have to decide what you want and where you going to want. And I'm going back and doing this over again. We sometimes save money, make bad decisions, or sometimes we make good decisions. But um, don't select your land necessarily because it's a place where you can go harvest logs if you want to do your own harvesting. I didn't do that because another dangerous thing. But my suggestion is, if you want to build a log cabin, if you're building it because you're like me, you like being on the outdoors and you like the rustic view, and I like the smell of wood, especially when I'm working with something. Um, think about getting land off the grid. Well, that means you're not going to pay for no electricity for in the foreseeable future. And if you're going to go solar, if you're in an area where you have a reasonable amount of sunshine, that's very practical. My system right now, we have a two-story log cabin. We don't have an air conditioner. We're going to do a swamp cooler, but we have big screen TV and everything that you'd have in a normal house. But land is going to be cheaper off the grid. There's a couple of places you can start, but um, uh, my very honest suggestion to you is go to the county courthouse. I went to the county courthouse in Navajo, and you would be surprised at land that you can pick up for back taxes. You'll have to find out what's available, go to the assessor's office, And again, you got to do your due diligence. Now, what do you actually need to sustain life? Well, you need water. And not all water is created equal. For example, where I live, you have to go 360, 70 feet uh, uh, to get water. And that's to get below the surface water. Surface water is generally only good for the gardens. It's not good for drinking. It's alkalized. North of me, about 30 miles, I understand they have to go 1,000 feet. The further you go, the more expensive it's going to be. A 365-foot well, last time I checked, they'll punch the hole in the ground for you for about $6,000. That would include casing it. It would not include a motor. So you're going to need to find out if you're going to live off the grid, and then how you're going to need a town around you. In my case, I only had to go less than 10 miles to get the Ace Hardware. And obviously, when you're building, you're always going to need to go back to a hardware store, whether it be Walmart or anything like that. Um, uh, in Snowflake, I like Ace. I mean, associates can always help me explain technical information for me. So you're going to need to decide what kind of cabin you're going to build. You're going to need tools. Again, use your money sparingly, because you're going to run into all kinds of expenses that you never dreamed of. And if you do your due diligence, you're going to save all kinds of money that you never dreamed of. But you have to look. It's not going to knock on your door, although it did for me once. Man happened to have a lot right next to me. Wouldn't know if I wanted to buy it, and it had a well on it. I bought the land with the well cheaper, and I could have dug a well. Okay, so you're going to need to take some courses. You can do it at home. YouTube has a lot of great courses, but those books I told you, and I think E.B. Mackey, and also Mr. Chamberlain, you can buy videos or information to get you started learning about notches. I think probably the best way to go is not a kit. You can get a kit now. I'm not talking about the Lincoln cabs. It's be a custom-made log kit. They'll put it together for you, and then you have to assemble it when they come back. But again, you're talking probably $70,000, $50,000 for just a log cabin. Um, I bought my logs for right around $6,000, 44 of them, and I happen to have a log grader that went out with me and picked them out. A log grader is certified, and they know what type of logs you need. Um, there's things that goes into this, like if your logs are green, and professional log builders like to use green logs. But remember, the average statistics or rules is a 10-foot cabin is going to shrink 10 inches. I got a deal. I got my logs have been cut for about 7 years, so I didn't have any shrinkage to worry about. I would consider going up north, and I'm paying the money to have get a log grader. I think the bigger the better. Maybe Oregon someplace and have them transferred to you. But all states have mountains and logs, but you need to get something that's really special for you that will guarantee that you won't get discouraged or keep on going. You're going to have to learn how to cut rebar. You need to put rebar in between those logs because wood is live. So now you select your land, try to get someplace where you don't have to go too far to get building material. And, and also you may be going to be living in a tent, RV. And to be on the practical side, you and your wife are going to want to do something besides to look at logs all day long. You're going to want to go to the movies or out to dinner. And that's the thing to keep like it. I get my generators, and you're going to need a generator. I get mine from Harbor Freight. They're not sponsoring this ad. That's just where I go. I would, if I was building a log cabin, I would get the both the generator and a chainsaw with an extended warranty. And remember, when you're working with a generator, the further you have to run your extension cord, the less electricity you have. You need to study. One thing about it, you can go out and get you some, if you got a campfire, and you can get a lumber mill, sawmill to bring you some logs over. Get your chainsaw and practice doing your notching on that. And then when you get done, just cut the wood up and use it for firewood. You don't waste anything. And also for environmentalist friends, and they probably know this better than me, but a log cabin uses less trees than a stick-built cabin. I like a metal roof. I got one. I helped put it up. I did the cutting and things like that. And I think it was about $1,500 for material and about $1,500 in labor. And it has a 40-year warranty on it. Right now I'm 79, so if it goes bad in the next 30 years, I'll be over demanding my money back. Things else you're going to need, get your ground. I would go ahead and get, I had the septic tank, and first, in fact, they may require you to have a septic tank before you begin giving a building permit. Septic tanks, there's no reason you can't do it. Go to a septic tank a dealer, and they'll show you what to do. And you go to the county, and they'll give you a permit, and they'll design how it has to be laid out. By that, they'll say you have to have a 1,000-gallon tank. You have to have a drain field, maybe just for conversation, say 200 feet. You may have to have a distribution tank, D tank. That's where you may have 2 drain fields. But all this is mostly labor. You have to have it right before they bring a septic tank out because the backhoe is not going to pull it out. I got the biggest one available. Take some courses. If you can find somebody in your neighborhood that's built a log cabin, that's even better. And check and get your book on building codes. There's just so much information out there. But wood is so refreshing, so nice. And I think we spent, I don't know how many, 14 minutes on this conversation. Talk about tools. When you're going to be working with a chainsaw, I would get the shaps and steel toe boots. Well, think about it. Just to do one log, you have to flip it over if you're working with a round log, and you have to put a W in there. And that W makes it sit over the bottom log. And there's different ways, different sizes of a notching you can do, but whatever it is, like I was working with a 33-foot log or 35-foot, but I had to walk backwards, pulling a chainsaw about 130 feet. You got to go down, up, and down. Now, if you can do that for, say, we could do one log a day. So let's say you work a little bit harder than I did. If you could do one log every 30 days, do them all in 30 days, working with a chainsaw 8 hours a day presents a lot of risk. They're already dangerous anyway. But if you think you're not going to ever make a mistake, well, you're not being realistic. So get those shaps. Now, it's made out of the same stuff that bulletproof vests are made out of. Now, the manufacturers will say it's not guaranteed to keep from getting cut, but they do guarantee it'll cut down the damage. The man that showed me about him had 50 employees working for him on the roads. And he said he never had anyone get hurt as long as they're wearing them. They're not that much money. I think I paid about $75 for mine. Steel toe boots again. Don't forget chains break. Safety goggles is not a lot of money. I would get I'm not going to recommend which chainsaw you get, except I would say get a name brand. I had Stihl. I had this, not the biggest one. The guy working with me, I got him a big one. but I use mine for the notching and the things like this. And rather than just other than just changing a spark plug and cleaning out their filter, and it's still running. Can you imagine that buying a tool and building a cabin, and the chainsaw still runs? But get your extended warranty on that. Um, Start shopping around for solar. I would. Uh, there's several ways to do solar. You can have a temporary solar station done in a day and a half. I mean, uh, if you got just say for conversation, if you put up 10 solar panels, 3,000 watts of electricity, you don't even need batteries. I don't believe if you're working in the daytime, but get you some batteries. Uh, you can get a battery case from Amazon, a Rubbermaid, that would be good enough. Uh, and then when you get your house built, you can move the batteries over, but then you would have electricity, and right away you're saving money because a lot of your power tools, you don't have to run the generator. You would have nice lights at nighttime when you're camping out, and you want to keep the area well lit. So that's another good thing you can do. Um, Go on. I got my solar batteries. I'm not batteries, but my units from Solar Exchange is one of the people I dealt with. There's a solar company up in Flagstaff, and also the one down in Miami. Uh, you have to look it up on the internet. When you bought your solar panels, if you would give them a design of what type of house you were building or what you have, for example, and you can go by and inventory what products you think you're going to have in there. A dishwasher, uh, say it's going to use 1,000 watts an hour. Microwave, another 1,000 watts an hour. And your lights, LED. If you do each room, they would do your schematics for you. Getting into solar just a little bit. Remember, uh, when you put down the maximum what you're going to use, there's not too many people that's going to use everything at one time. You're not going to be using a microwave generally for an hour along with the dishwasher. If you did, you're being foolish because you have to control your solar. If you send me some questions, my email is cowboyron.com. I can be a little more exact, and if I don't know something, I won't snowball it. I'll try to give you a good place to get your information. Um, Also, cowboyron.com, that's my blog site, and we're constantly putting news on there. And until next time, in fact, we're going to do news tonight. That's Cowboy Ron 22 on the YouTube. My blog site is constantly being updated as I can find something juicy to put on there. So next time, Cowboy Ron saying so long.